Yes, we're back. It's full board vision. We're back on the scene. We're going to play some blindfold games. Welcome back to the stream. This is a stream where I play some blindfold games, or I attempt to play chess without looking at the board. But you guys can see what I'm thinking. So let's jump right in. So, by the way, we'll just fix your board so you can see. So we're in a sort of, what's this, Tor attack or something like that? D4, knight 6, knight 3 was played, I believe. I'm going to play G6. Our plan is to try and get to 1800 blindfold. Let's see how that goes. Let's see how that goes. So we're playing Bacon or Fly at 1490. They just played knight c3. Okay, you want to be able to play c4 in these openings usually, so quite happy to see knight c3. I'm going to play bishop g7. Bishop f4, okay. And a castle. e3 played, okay. I'm gonna play knight h5 at some point. Probably not right away. I feel like c5 is justified. I'm not sure why at the moment. I also want to play d5. I'm going to play d5. d5. I want to play c5. I want to get my knight to c6. I want to get my bishop to f5 or g4. But I really want to get this bishop off the scene. So I may play knight h5. So they say a knight on the rim does not look good. Oh, I think that's what they say. Yeah, and they say they've played h3 so that if I play knight h5 they can drop their bishop back to h2, which makes sense. Okay, in that case we're gonna have to play c5. So this is a pawn sack, but it's not really a sack because we can play queen c5 and probably queen a5 and we're probably going to win that pawn back. Can we? Interestingly, if they do take on c5, they'll then have two attacks on d5. So if we go ahead and play queen a5, they could actually play knight takes d5. Okay, then there'd be knight d5, queen d5. Ooh, bishop takes b2. The knight would be pinned actually on queen a5, so. Okay, at least d5 has got them thinking, and it's got us up on the clock. Now, the thing which I think for me is most important in blindfold is to not get low on time. Not go into complex positions and not get low on time. Okay. They have played g4, so I can see their pawn structure, and I can see our pawn structure. Now, I'm guessing that they want to play g5, but then we can just slot our knight in h5, and with a tempo on the bishop, and that knight doesn't look great, but it's never going to be moved from there. We can take on d4. We can just play knight c6. What happens if they take on d4? I'm going to play knight c6. Somehow it just feels like the right move. I'm guessing that they want to play g5 to sort of deflect my f6 knight away from the defense of d5, which is attacked by their c3 knight. Okay, bishop b5. Did I castle yet? I did. So this knight is not pinned, so I don't see a problem. I'm going to go and take on d4. Now then, bishop c6 is bishop takes knight on c6 is interesting because I could take on c3. So I don't think they'll do that. Oh, they've done that. Okay, bishop c6. So I can take on c3. I don't think this bishop's attacking anything. Again, I've got a bishop on f6, a knight on g7, a bishop on c8. So I'm defending b7. d5 is, I think, defended twice. So I think this is just a good move. It's going to force them to retreat their bishop, and then I can go ahead and take on b2. I didn't consider bc. Why not? Just intuitively, I just felt like taking on c3 was better. Don't know why. Well, I guess if I take on c6, I already am doubling my pawns, and I'm giving them a chance to move their knight out of the way. And I guess no, they could take our pawn back, I guess is what was in my mind. Right, so I've taken the piece whilst leaving the other piece attacked, and that piece now has to retreat, which might cost them more time than if I'd done it the other way around. Okay, looks like we've got a good start. We've had a good start in this game. The c file is open. Our c pawn went like this, which is interesting. So we've actually undoubled our pawns. I think this is our pawn structure. Their pawn structure. Okay, so they've had to do that. They've had to drop their bishop back. You know what's really interesting? So we take on b2. They probably play rook b1, and then we've got queen a5, which I think picks the bishop up. Ah, no, yeah, because it's not defended. Ah, they play c3, blocking the check, defending the bishop, but then this queen takes c3, and that's just a riot. The question is queen a5 any stronger? Because we hit the bishop. I guess they could play b3, which is kind of b3 in response to queen a5, b3. Okay, so taking on b2 looks great. Is the d file open? No, got a pawn on d5, so there's no queen trades or anything. Even so, we're attacking the a1 rook, so... Okay. Take on b2. Yeah. I think it's a riot. Just queen a5 check. Forces c3, right? Block the check whilst discovering a defense of the a4 bishop with the queen on d1. But at the price of a pawn, because queen takes c3 is a capture. Hang on. Okay, am I missing something? Because maybe they just missed c3, and that's why they played knight d2. But I think I can just take this bishop now. And let's just remember where the pawns are. So h3, g4, f2, e3, c2, and a2, I think. So they've got 6 pawns. We've got 7 pawns. So So did we only win a pawn out of that transaction? I feel like we won 2 pawns. Oh, we've still got a pawn on b2. Yes, we have. Well, look, I think we better take this bishop while we can. I hope they've still got a pawn on c2, otherwise I've just blundered my queen. I'm sure that that's the pawn structure. Now, if rook takes b2, the nice thing about this, c5, c4, c5, d4, c3, b2 thing is that it's completely open, this diagonal, apart from my knight on f6. So if they do play rook takes b2, and this might be what they're calculating right now, I've got a move like knight a5. Oh, they've castled. Okay, well, I'm going to play knight 5 anyway, because I feel that that's... I can't play knight 5, they've got the pawn there. Okay, so they've castled. Alright, what's the obvious plan? You know what, I can actually play knight d5. Sorry, e4. Knight e4, and the reason I like that is it protects my b2 pawn, which is such a nuisance. And they'd have to play f3 to get me out of there. And I think I've got knight c3 as a fork. No, then, yeah, threatens knight c3 as well. Okay. Oh, hang on. The knight's on d2. I just hung my knight. Whoops. No, I didn't. It's protected on d5. Ooh. Alright, played was knight g3. Knight b3, excuse me. Knight c3 is just a fork, isn't it? Still got a c8 bishop, by the way. Queen can drop back, can it? Yeah, I think it can. So there's no danger of my queen. Just visualize the pawns. Yeah. Knight c3. Queen takes d5. I mean, the unfortunate thing about that is it falls foul of queen takes d5. And bake on her fly. What can I say? Blunder. Alright. Let's move on. Alright. That's where I should have used my splash screen. And this is the problem. Okay, so let me just repair something behind the scenes. I'm gonna sort that out for the next stream. Maybe it sorts itself out. Okay, anyway, I won't bore you with the details, but just something I need to sort out behind the scenes. Okay, e4, e5, knight f3. So, played 1-1-1. That's not so bad, is it? Can't do much better than that. Should just stop now. Knight c6, bishop c4. Italian. Loads of moves they can play here. d6, knight f6. They can play bishop c5, or they can play h6. Now, I'm not a fan of this move. Like, if you're starting out, it is a move that can be played, right? But it's very defensive. You know, the knight wasn't going to go to g5 unless you played knight f6. And even in that case, you know, it's a very exciting line. h6 just feels like a waste of a move. Right, it does do some good things, right? It covers g5, so bishop is not going to land there, and neither is a knight for now. And it gives the king some luft on h7, should black castle kingside. Okay, they're just taking on d4. So I could play knight d4, and I will, to reclaim the pawn. I'll pre-move queen d4, but actually typically they play knight e5 here to attack the c4 bishop. So that's what I'm expecting. But h6 is just a passive move. I know it's a move. But it does seem to give white just a free hand. Here it is. Alright, and the good news is we've taken a time advantage. We've taken a time advantage. We have a time advantage. We have an advantage in development, an advantage on the clock, and of course, you know, we're full board vision, so we immediately have an advantage. Knight e7, defending c6. Now, as of yet, our opponent hasn't moved the d-pawn. So maybe we can actually just... no, we can't play knight f5 yet. Alright, so how do we continue? Let's just play knight c3. Like, why not? Can't be a bad move. Knight e7 I don't like so much, because you know, it blocks the f8 bishop in. This bishop probably wants to be on e7. You know, maybe c5. But there's another move needed now to get that to work. Maybe their plan was to take on c4 and then bring their other knight, sorry, on d4 and bring their other knight to c6. So maybe their plan is knight takes d4, queen takes d4, knight c6. However, there I think we might be able to play queen d5, which hits f7 and stops their natural plan of bishop e7 and castles. The fact that they haven't pushed their d-pawn means that, you know, the bishop couldn't come to e6, which will be the natural antidote. So they played g6. Oh, this is getting interesting. Played g6. Okay, so they want to play bishop g7 now that they've got their knight on e7. It's obvious. I'm tempted to play bishop g5 and follow it up with queen d2. Try to castle long, pin the knight, and eventually try to contest these dark squares. I'm going to do that. The knight in e7 of course allows this as well. Remember that my knight's not on f3, it's on d4. So the queen was actually covering g5 before the knight hopped into e7. This also threatens to take on c6 and double the pawns, which I might do. Okay, I just blundered my bishop, didn't I? Poor. Okay, that's one of those things you've got to remember where the pawns are. Okay, our opponent's just one pawn piece. Alright, what can we do then? Queen d2. Alright, we're a piece down. The guy's 40-92, we might have a chance. We've got to stop doing that. Bishop g5.
Blunder.
Okay, we have a time advantage, so, you know, we're going to be going here for a dirty flag. Okay, let's tune in. Their pawn structure is as follows, I believe. Right. These 7 pawns, and ours is looking like this. Okay. They develop the bishop to g7, which has the merit of attacking our knight. We can't play bishop f5. I think we should just go back. Oh, this is a check. Is it a check? Yeah, I think it is. Maybe knight b5 is the way there. Okay, this is a calamity. Bishop takes c3 check. Oh, queen's on d2 actually, so that might not work. It's not a check. Okay, that's the thing. It isn't a check. Okay, they're going to play knight, I think. E takes c6 to defend. Yes, defend. Okay, and now I think we should just try and make it tricky. Give away the b2 pawn. Let's do it. I don't think we've got much recourse here. I'm expecting bishop takes b2, rook b1, bishop back to g7. I've still got a c4 bishop, I haven't I? Forgot about that. Okay, maybe all is not lost here. I mean, all really is lost, but you know. Chess is a dimension. I mean, time is a dimension in chess. Okay, block the e-file. Or block the diagonal, sorry, in order to attack our bishop. Okay, so the obvious move is bishop b3, so I think we should just put that on the board. I don't think it blunders anything. Probably going to go d6. We're going to have to get an f4 in. A long castle. Playing a piece down. Let's see what we do. I think I can see the position fairly clearly. There's almost a relief associated with pieces coming off the board. It's not so relieving when you've just blundered it. But at least there's less to think about. Now, this player is a time trouble addict. d6 they played. Okay, now I'm definitely going to castle 1. Maybe they're going to play bishop e6. And I won't do anything if they do that. Bishop e6 is... I'm going to trade d5, that's fine. Have they castled? I don't believe they've castled yet. They have played bishop e6. Okay. Now I'm going to come in. If I play f4, where does this knight go? It could go to g4. From g4, h3, and where does it go then? Back to h6? I think I have to do that. I think I have to give it a bash. I'm not at all worried about bishop d5. On bishop d5, I will play queen d5, and then once the knight moves, if the knight moves, I'll take on f7. Oh, there's a g-pawn. Okay, there's a g-pawn. Okay, so now the situation's like so. I can't play queen f4. No, I think I will. I had knight f4 as well. Okay, I think this is my pawn structure. These are my pawns, so 6 of them, and there's... Sorry, like this. makes sense. They've got 1, 2, 3, 5, 6 pawns. And I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, they play Queen D7. Hang on. That feels wrong. I can, for example, play Knight F6. Hang on. Huh. Knight F6 check. Bishop takes. Queen takes. If they go here. Yeah, okay. Okay, it does make a threat. Is there anything better is a question. Maybe I should go rook F1. Let's go. The thing that I'm thinking which might just work is so knight f6 check, queen takes f6, sorry, bishop takes f6, queen takes f6, bishop takes b3, ab, and there is a threat in the position of queen takes e5 because the e pawn is pinned to the queen. So I'm kind of hoping that they would see that. Or at least, you know, that's a threat that I can make. I don't know what they're thinking about, because for me the only move is bishop takes. So I'm going to pre-move queen takes f6. For me it's the only move, because it's a fork. Oh, hang on, they haven't castled yet. Oh, they haven't castled. Now we're attacking the rook on an h8, aren't we? They could castle. Hang on. I feel like we've got something here. Okay, well, they defended their rook, their knight. Okay. Oh, you know what? This is a threat now. It's actually a threat. After g4? If only we could play g4. Okay, the knight takes. Bishop takes. Okay, we can't play g4. h3. Don't like the look of that, but there is a check actually. Might get me out of things. Okay. h3, g4. So what I'm hoping for is, they can castle and get out of everything. Okay, never mind. Probably I should have played rook f1. Okay, they've played queen e7. Well, you know what I quite like? Queen f2. Quite like that move. I know queen f2. The reason I like queen f2 is because it stops long castles. Or it might do, because the queen takes a7. Four-board position. And we're going for a dirty flag here. We are going for a dirty flag. Yeah. Bishop takes, bishop takes. Where's our knight? Ah, okay. Alright, so they've gone back there. Queen e7. Yeah. Pawn on d6. Okay, so I'm going to go... I think I am going to go g4 while I've got the chance. And follow it with rook f1. So my pawn structure is like so. King's on c1, which is a bit weird. Ah, interesting. Yep. Oof, I think I have to go king b1. Is that rook isn't undefended. Their king is still in the middle. Now they've castled long. Okay. Okay, opponent was worried. That's why they did that. You know what? Let's try to confuse them. Just making contact with the a4 rook, just gluing the knight to c3. Just forcing them to make moves. Queen d5. Hang on. Yes, queen b4. Gotta play something. Is this a move? I think it is. Might scare them just a bit. Of course they can just play queen. Ah, no they can't. Sorry, I thought I was under the impression they could meet this with a queen a5. But their rook stands on a5. So they can't occupy this open file. What? Oh, clever. Clever, but maybe we can harass the queen now. Like this. Let's do it. Mate. I just got mated. Okay. Deserved that. That was deserved. Okay, let's jump into the next game. We blundered a piece, we did our best, and to be honest it was going quite well. Our opponent was in time trouble. But then we just blundered a mate trying to cause complications. Alright, we have got a Sicilian. So let's go. Knight f3. It'd be good for the stream if we started winning some games, you know, making it look like we could actually play chess, and then people might start watching. But it looks like there might be a couple of people watching. You never know. Right, here we go. Takes on d4. Okay, knight takes d4. We're in a Sicilian. Knight c6. Okay. Knight c6 is a move. I guess we just play knight c3 because our d4 knight is protected. Okay, queen c7. What's this? Queen c7? It's like some... what do they call it? Sicilian Khan or something like that. Okay. We're looking like so. Alright, bishop e3. And against the Khan you don't really play that way, so... Maybe we should play bishop e2, just castle short. Let's try that. Bishop e2, gonna castle short. Oh, look at those arrows. Look at those arrows on your live board. Our graphics team have been hard at work. They've been overworked, actually. And they're understaffed. But they are overpaid. Alright, a6. Queen c7, queen is on c7, the knight's on c6. They've got this thing going on, yeah. They're playing the Sicilian Khan, but we kind of got into it from a weird or an unusual move order. We've got to play quickly, so we'll play bishop e2 so that we could castle short. So let's do that. Bishop e2, yeah. b5, okay. Well, one at a4. If they go b4, I kind of want them to go b4. The knight doesn't really have anywhere to go, which is annoying, so I should probably play a3 to prevent b4. They might play a5 to force it through. Bishop b7, okay. Attacking e4. How to develop. Let's just play bishop e3. This feels wrong. Feels wrong. Something feels wrong. But I think I can see the position, so that's good. Rook c8. Okay, they're going full on queenside. You know, is there a... I mean, not right now, but maybe we can trade and then play e5. I find that appealing for some reason. But do we need to trade? No, let's play rook e1. What was rook c8 all about? Alright, what's the pawn structure? They've got this light square thing going on, and we've got this. We've got our bishops on passive positions, sort of. They've got their bishop nicely out on the long diagonal, another one still at home. They've got knight c6, and I think they've still got a knight on g8 over there. Whereas our knights are on c3 and d4. And finally, rooks are on e1, a1, a8, sorry, c8, and h8. Okay, so they developed this knight, attacking e4. You know, maybe I've got to go bishop f3 here. Looks like a strange move, but I'm going to do it. Yeah, bishop f3. Just, oh, now my rook's got more of a life. I've overprotected my e4 pawn. I'm ready to advance it and trade off bishops. Now that my e3 bishop is overprotecting my d4 knight, I've got a bit more maneuverability. What do they call that? Mobility, that's the word. Alright, come on. Only a minute down on the clock. Alright, they're probably going to castle, or at least, so I think they're going to do. And you know, now perhaps we can take on c6 and play e5. Right, because our rook is now defending. Ah, but it's not. Okay, but it's x-raying the e5 pawn. So if they castle short, let's say we do take, what are they going to take back with? Probably the bishop. Then we play e5. Oh shit, I just pre-moved e5. Oof, oof. Accidental. So they're going to castle. We go knight takes c6, bishop c6, e5. And if queen e5, looking for a discovery. Yeah, bishop c5 would win this rook, right? Because it discovers an attack. Ah, no, it's actually defended by the queen. So maybe there's no fancy pants tactics in that position. Yeah, maybe not. Don't know, but our opponent has taken a long think, and now I wonder what they're contemplating. They've got something big lined up. Come on, Cram 222. Show me what you got on the chessboard. Knight d4. Okay, do I have to recapture immediately? I can't see anything else that I could do. You know, like a knight d5 or something. It doesn't work. So either bishop takes or queen takes. You know what? I quite like bishop takes. Will I get hit by e5? I really like that. Queen takes and they play e5. I feel like that's not so bad for some reason. Okay, queen takes. Oh, hang on, is there a bishop c5? Incoming? I mean, maybe there is. Yeah, I should have seen that. But still, I'll drop back to d2. We defended twice on e4. I think they'll play bishop c5. Or at least, that's what I'm expecting. Rook on e1 is looking good. They've played d6, that I did not expect. Okay. d6 is the move. e5 they'll take on f3, and I don't so much like the look of that. What else can we do in the meantime? Well, we can develop our last piece. Why not? Is e5 incoming? Okay, bishop. Bishop e7. e5. I don't really want them to take on f3. Is there some crazy knight d5? Knight d5 takes. it's too much. Okay. What should we do then? Trade queens somehow. Can we relocate this c3 knight? I guess c2 is hanging, so maybe not. It's not obvious. Alright, just d3. Bishop g2. Play for f4, e5. Difficult position. I haven't really given myself much maneuverability. When c3 knight is pinned. Alright, they've castled finally. Alright, bishop g2. I'm going to try for f4. That does open this diagonal to some sort of check. e5 does saddle them with a backwards pawn on d6. So there is that. So I'll probably play the immediate e5. I'm not that bothered about a trade of bishops. Knight hopping into e4 or d5 will be dealt with. So maybe e5 is a thing. Okay, they've got knight g4. Hitting e3 bishop. Okay, the idea being that g7 is now defended. Right, if I go bishop f4, they go e5. Wait, I think their bishop's on e7. Okay. I'm tempted to just go back to c1. I don't see what this knight's doing. Can get to e5. But then there is f4. So I'm just going to drop back to c1. Maybe that was bad, I don't know. I don't want to lose my bishop in this position. Complex. Alright, and now the question is, what's the knight doing on g4? This looks like a retreating move, and it is. You know, passive. But the bishop, I'm sure, will have life in this game. I want to get h3 in to hit the g4 knight. This music's very rousing, isn't it? Sending me to sleep. Stream beats. Right. So this is a serious game. Let's try and take it in. So I think their pawns are here. And I think our pawns are... Let's use a different colour. I think our pawns are like... so. Oh, e4, not d4. Okay. Okay, so they play bishop f6, which attacks our queen. Interesting now is, can we play e5? And I expect not, because it's defended like 3 times. But hang on, e5 would hit this knight, so they'd have to play knight takes. Or bishop, and trade bishops first. Knight takes after e5, knight takes. Isn't d6 hanging? Isn't d6 just hanging here? I think d6 is hanging. Right? e7 and c7. We're defending d6. Queen d6. Right. Let's just check where all my pieces are. So, excuse me for these arrows. My bishop's on c1. knight's on c3, my other bishop's on g2. So they're my 3 minor pieces. They've got a knight on g4, bishop on f6, and a bishop on b7, but I think this just allows me to play queen d6. I think this was a typical blunder of moving a piece which was doing something defensive. They can take on c3, of course. Alright, but that's... Alright, they'll win the c3 pawn back. But they'll have to give their dash square bishop up for that. Where's my king, by the way? G1, of course. Okay, we didn't blunder our queen at least. Yeah, that's what I thought they'd do. Oh. I guess their idea is that after they take back the rook, they're attacking a3. Well, they're not actually, because bishop's on c1. I'm expecting rook takes c3. Good. Okay. Alright, so the position now, I think their pawns are here. Our pawns are here. They've got rook on c3. Maybe we could just improve with bishop b2. c2 is attacked. Okay, c2 is attacked. Okay, I think the move for us to play is rook d7. Hitting the bishop. b8. Okay. Is there a bishop? Isn't there a bishop? f4 now? Bishop f4. It's going to cut through the position and attack this rook which is defending the bishop. I think. They've got e5. Because their knight's defending that. Yeah. Yes they have. So if I play h6 first, they might go back to f6 and then bishop. I'm just going to attack my d7. Okay. So. I think I see a trick there. I think I see a trick. On knight f6, bishop b2. If they take me out, I'm going to take them, and then we didn't lose a pawn. But if they then go here, we take, they take. Oh, it just doesn't work. Oh well. I don't see a trick. Okay, so we're going to go knight f6. Okay, we've got to go back rook d2, unfortunately. At least we've got rook d2. Okay, and then we were threatened. Yeah, okay, so we have to go back. Rook d2. Okay, so it's still even, isn't it? We just got perhaps the worst pawn structure because of these versus these. But otherwise, it's pretty even. We do have b file, and we've got rook bishop b2 in the can. Could bring double our rooks on the d file. Oh, you know what? No, I didn't miss. Okay, I didn't miss it. All right, so they threatened e4 twice. Okay, but now. I'll be able to play bishop f4. This is attacked twice. gonna do that. Why not? Oh yeah, it's on d2. Okay, fine. Advance. Trade bishops. Okay. Pawn is defended. We're just gonna lose on time again. Bishop b2. 3 attacks on this now. What about this? The e4 pawn was lost. This thing is like, I think there's a big problem. Knight f6. Did they play? I think they've still got this pawn structure, which means if they're going to f6, I've got bishop e7, rook takes b7, and then there's a back rank mate. Go on, play knight f6. Go on! Play knight f6. I mean, actually, how do they get out of this back rank mate threat? I think maybe they have to play f5. Alright, back in the game. We won a piece. Hearts beating. Get rid of the knight next. Hang on, I think that's back rank mate. Did they move their h-pawn? I don't think they did. I'm going for it. There's a pawn in the way. Okay, I don't know why I can't play that, but I can't for some reason. Is it my pawn? Oh yeah, it's my pawn. Why was it no? Okay. I don't understand what's going on here. Okay, resigns. What was the situation? Oh, they had a pawn on e6. Well, never mind. Okay, well this position was quite bad actually. Okay. So how did that pan out? Let's have a look. So when we're in this position, so a good move here would have been rook e1, I guess, and threatening the back rank. Okay, that was tense, but it was a good game. It's a good game. Alright, I think we've got time for another one. Splash screen. Alright, let's go. Full board vision. And there it is. Alright, this is an interesting position. e4, c4, some stonewall. So let's just play knight f6, stacking e4, I got knight c3, so let's just go bishop c5. There's a hole here. h3? That's weird. I'm just going to jump into that hole. Knight h2, that's so weird. That is very weird. Okay, let's just castle. d3, yeah, completing this stonewall thingy. Because I could play c6 and then d5. I've kind of been allowed to do that, so... I've also got a bishop on c8 that I should do something with. You know what, I'm just going to try for c6 and d5. I don't know if that's a good way to deal with this pawn structure. Oh, like that. But my plan, yeah, let's just throw d5 in. That should free everything up. It's going to be hard work getting to 1800 if we keep losing those kind of games. The Sicilian card is hard to play against them. Or at least I find it quite. So bishop e3, what does that do? Well, it does attack d4, but it's defended. So it doesn't... Don't think that causes me a problem right now. And castle and everything. Got a nice setup. d5. Why not? It's also protected. My d4 knight is also protected by the e5 pawn. d5, then I want to play rook e8, maybe queen e7, rook a d8, develop this way. I feel like that was a turning point. I feel like that game was a turning point. Things are gonna move upwards now. Okay, so I feel like that's hung e4, right? It's defended once, but it's now attacked twice. And if I take e4 and they take the knight, well then I can just recapture with the pawn, can I not? I don't think there's any need to trade knights first. I don't think there is. So let's go. Bishop takes d4, okay. Now I'm going to take back with the pawn, I think. I could take back with the bishop, but I think I want to take back with the pawn. After d takes e4, knight takes e4, and we are protected on d4 twice. Right? Even though we're attacked twice, we're defended, sorry. So we're defended twice. Yeah, I could use fancy arrows, couldn't I? So I'm expecting d take, yeah. So I think if I play knight takes e4, yes, there are two attacks on d4, but I would uncover... Well, I haven't uncovered. It's already there, these defences. Alright. Where's their light square bishop? They play queen d3, okay, I get that. Hang on. Where's our light square bishop, more importantly? I think I want to play bishop f5. Queen d3, the idea was that you're attacking my knight on e4. How did their knight get to e2? I go from c3 to e2, I think. Bishop f5. Ah, hang on. Bishop f5, is there knight g3? No, knight takes g. Oh yeah, there. What's on this square? Knight? Yeah, no, there's knight takes g3. Defending my bishop, picking up a piece. Bishop f5. If they still got a bishop on f1, I think that's their minor pieces. And this is our minor pieces. And we're castled, they're not. Are they going to try and castle long? I don't think that's going to work. Somehow. Just because there's a discovery in the air. Something must work. Yeah, like for example, knight g3 will pick up an exchange. Because it defends the... Yeah, so if they castle long, I think I can play knight g3, which discovers an attack on the queen. Defends the bishop, which is making that attack, but it also attacks the knight on h1. Sorry, the rook on h1, so pick up an exchange. Right, let's not forget what the pawn structure is, because we always do that. Oh, it's that stone wall thingy, isn't it? That's what they did. And they got pawn on h3. Okay, so they've got 6 pawns like so, and we've got, I think, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Bishop's on c5 and f5. Knight on d5, on e4. Where's my queen? My queen is still on d8. We're going to fade. Okay, we're looking good. Okay, this all looks good. I think it's just a clean pawn we won. 15-10. Trying to get to 1800, guys. It's gonna be a fucking long time, isn't it? Buckle your seatbelts. Alright, difficult for them. With this minor piece setup that they've got. If I were them, I'd be wanting to maybe develop this bishop to b to g2, so maybe g4. The problem is, I was just gonna say, the problem with g4 is, I think I can play. Okay, maybe that's all right for them actually, because if I do play knight g3 now, they could take. I take this, and if that knight gets trapped, then they're going to win material. So what I think I'll do is I'll just drop back, and that gives me, you know, more ideas. I think. All right, then there might be a knight f4 attacking my g6 bishop if I decide to drop it back. Hang on. King is still on e1, right? Knight f2. Oh, then there's actually queen f5. Then there's queen f5, yeah. Knight takes h1. Hang on a second. Isn't there a queen h4 here? I think there's a queen h4 check. No, because there's a pawn on f2. Okay. Okay, there's a pawn on f2. Okay, but after bishop g6, knight f4, then there's knight takes f2. Right, because there's no queen takes bishop in that position, and knight takes bishop isn't a check. Okay, so bishop g6, so they can't play knight f4. I'm just worried that they could, you know, chase my bishop away. But I think I got knight f2 in that position. So that's all. So they castled long, but we figured they couldn't do that because, I mean, now there's knight f2, just forks everything, no? Family fork. Just forks everything. Knight takes f2. They resigned. Fair dues. Fair resignation, I'd say. Alright, that was a fairly clean game. A fairly clean game. Oh, I think we've got time for another one. I'm just sort of sounding it out at the moment. At some point I'll start analysing the games and stuff. But right now I'm just practicing. Because, you know, no one's watching except you. Alright, here we go. e4, e5, knight f3, knight c6, bishop c4. Alright, this move a6 again, which I slagged off before, but then I went and put a bishop on g5 and lost. So that wasn't super wise, was it? Knight e5 is what they normally do. Yeah, this guy, this geezer knows that. Alright, knight f6. So we'll go knight c3, defending. Slightly annoying. Not the end of the world, though. is pretty annoying. Okay, that's pinned. It's the only defender. Maybe I just allow it. Maybe I just allow it. And defend somehow, like queen e2. If I go bishop d2, takes, they go knight e4, I can take, they take, I take here, they take, I go bishop takes f7. Huh. Okay, I win the pawn back. Can they do any damage in that position with their knight? And you know what? I think they can play rook f8. Attacking f2. Okay, but I should then be able to castle wall with a check. Okay, I'm going to go for that line. Just because it looks interesting. Yeah, you're going to take that. You're going to take this. I'm going to take that. Huh? Oh, I've got a pawn on d4. Hang on. No, I've got a knight on d4. Oh, okay, I got a knight on d4. Okay, no problem. Okay. Can I play? Strange, but is there a knight f5 in here? Somewhere. Trying to understand what happened. Okay. Okay, I think it was a bit of a disaster. Let's just castle. I lost the whole pawn. And the bishops. I thought I'd get the bishop there for it, but I didn't. That attacks my queen. Okay. d6. Right. I'm gonna go with f4. Knight f5. Hopefully they'll capture, we take back, they'll go to e5, and then we might have something so we can play rook e1. Okay. What? Oh, there's no pawn on e4. Huh? Oh, I got captured, didn't it? Great. Okay. This is an utter calamity. How can we try to recover from that? I don't think we can. Poor. See, one good one, one bad one. Resourcefulness. Did they just hang that bishop? c6. Now hang on, I played knight f5, they played bishop f5, I played queen f3, and I went back to g6, so I mean there's no pawn protecting that. Look, I think this game is over, so I'm just going to chance. Oh, I've got pawn on f4. Okay, that's what it is. Alright. g4. So c6 was about protecting b7, right? Hang on a second. Yeah, then that's defended, but it's going to get trapped. So I think I've got one minor piece, they've got two. One is here, the other is here. The bishop, queen b6. Hang on. Right. Is that a check? It's a check. Okay. Okay, I fucked it, yeah. King goes here, and then there's just bishop b4. Okay, so I have to play rook f2, right? That's forced. Rook king h1, there's bishop e4. I guess we have to go rook f2. But now there are two pieces hanging. Very odd pawn structure. 6 pawns versus 1, 2, 3. 4. 5. Okay, but hang on. Where's their king? Did they castle? Look, I'm taking their bishop. Knight takes. Yeah, queen g5. Oh, no, they played h6. Yeah. The thing I don't understand is where their king is. I guess I could play queen e1, hope. Oh no, I can't do that. Alright, queen d3 I think is forced. Alright, this simplifies things because something like one minor piece each. Are they going to take on f4? Don't think so, so I think f5 is actually hanging. The knight. Queen is on b6, so I think they're like this. 7 pawns. And we've got probably 5 pawns, which is 1, 2, and then maybe 3, 4, 5. 3, 4, 5, yeah, that makes sense. Okay, terrible pawn structure. Rook on f2, queen on d3, rook on a1, king on g1, rook is pinned. Okay. Hang on. This looks dodge. What about just taking? But now this queen takes f5. By this I can only assume. Nah, if he's castled, he has a pawn on f7. If he's not... Did the f-pawn advance? I don't think it did. So, I think now... Let's just draw it. I think this is their pawns. This is their pawns. And these are my pawns. I think that they're... yeah, my rook's pinned. But my queen can just take... on f5, and I think... Hang on, if they still got a light square bishop. No, we took that light square bishop. We won the pawn back. Piece back. Alright, let's just go for it. Wow, this would be a comeback win. And the queen just gonna get taken. Alright, this is interesting. So they played rook takes h2. So this tells us a few things. And their idea is that if we play rook takes, they'll take our queen. Unfortunately for them, we can just trade queens. And if they might have been thinking they could play rook takes f2 check and then trade queens afterwards, but unfortunately from c5, our queen covers f2, I think. So I think this is just winning a rook. I think the line has to go queen c5, dc, rook takes h2. Did they definitely put their queen on c5 or is it on b6? c5. They did put their queen on c5, yeah. I'm sure. To defend their knight. Alright, but we could also play queen f7. Oh, and they resigned. Oh, their queen was on c5, so okay. Fair. Alright, we got away with it. We got away with it. Which is nice. I think for the whole time I was on the wrong scene, wasn't I? Didn't change scene. Alright, let's just have a bit of a break. See